Sometimes I sit down and I think, what would it be like to own and drive a Honda NSX? Then I forget about that and get on Destiny 2 and think, do I really want to solo flawless every dungeon in the game? And then I forget about that and start Ghost of the Deep.
Oh shit, here we go again.
In my last video I said Spire of the Watcher was my favorite because it was the hardest, and I really wish I didn't say that. You see, Spire of the Watcher was hard just because solo flawless dungeons are hard and the bosses were a little bit more tanky. But in Ghost of the Deep, this was one of the first dungeons that they upped enemy density. And this was also the first dungeon that I was kind of intimidated by. You see, if you've ever played Ghost of the Deep, you probably know of the terrible little creatures that live in that dungeon. I'm not talking about the Thrall. No, I'm not talking about the Cursed Thrall. I'm talking about the goddamn moths. Look at that little mother. You see, going into this dungeon, I hadn't done really any research on what to do. I just made a build that I thought would fit and went in for it. I really wish I would have done some research, because apparently it's a well-known thing that these goddamn moths are a problem. But before the moths became my biggest problem, it was the dungeon's terrain that I had beef with.
Don't cry, don't cry, don't cry, don't cry, don't cry. Don't cry.
You're lying! No! Oh my god! What even happened just now? What even just happened to my jump? My feet didn't touch the ground. I jumped too quickly. I'm floating right here. Unfortunately, in this dungeon, I don't think you are standing on a flat surface almost ever. The whole entire dungeon is crooked. Imagine watching this video and it's just slightly off kilter the entire time. That's Ghost of the Deep. Dude. Look, because this is sloped, look at this bullshit. Because I'm in a floaty underwater fucking dungeon, and this is sloped like this, I walk forward, and right now I'm floating. How the f am I supposed to know that I'm floating right here? I land here, and right here, I'm like, I literally tried to jump right here. I tried to hit the jump right here. But because I hit this little bump right here, it caused me to float forward, and because I didn't let go of W, I just kept floating. I only had one full clear of Ghost of the Deep, just like Duality, before running this dungeon and for these solo flawless attempts, but I knew that that jump was going to be annoying because I think in my first attempt of doing the dungeon, I had that same thing happen. So in further cases, I just made sure that I was really careful about it. All right. The dreaded jump. It's annoying. I have to be like so calculated in this part. I'm going to lose my mind. Sorry, sometimes when I get really angry, I start speaking in mouse. It's kind of like an ancestral genetic thing. I don't really know, but I didn't know if I said that in the last video. So in case you guys were wondering what was going on there, that's what it was. But going forward, I was extremely careful with this jump. I even tried pulling out a sword to make sure I had my feet on the ground. Although if you're not dumb like me, you probably know that you can't pull weapons out in the underwater sections. I felt pretty dumb when I got to that part and didn't know that. If you've been paying somewhat close attention to my reactions for some of these deaths, you might notice that I haven't been raging as often. And that's not because I didn't at all. It's just because we aren't at the true enemy of this dungeon. The terrain was annoying, but those goddamn moths! Things to remember: shoot the moths. Always be aware of the moths. I didn't actually grab the deep sight because I'm stupid. I forgot about the moths. God damn it! This is my elitism talking. I think
that one cousin nobody invite, but he just keep coming around. Bro, go home. Why are you here?
Genuinely. Oh! What the f just did that? What the f just did that? Hello? I literally flew into a moth, bro. I used to like the moths, and I used to feel bad shooting him. I'm like, it's just a little moth, bro. He's not hurting nobody. I used to feel bad about it.
I got beef with these moths!
What the do you mean? I literally didn't even see it.
Hold on. Tell me I'm supposed to see this.
Look at all this flying around. Look at this.
How am I supposed to see that?
I need it to be stated. Every time that I get confident, that I get in a flow, where I'm not in constant fear of everything shooting at me, this happens. I need to live in perpetual fear. I need to stay in fear and just be like aware, because I'm over here talking about like, this is my elitism talking about Fire Team Finder, not. What the fuck was that? Did he unlock a fucking ultimate move that I didn't know about? What are you talking about? What killed me?
Oh yeah, AB.
Is that a moth? Is that a fucking moth right there? That's not a moth, right? That's not a moth.
Look at that little motherfucker! Look at him!
I stand by my statement that the moths are the most frustrating thing of Ghost of the Deep. They are by far worse than the boss health, the traversal, the length of the dungeon. I don't care. The moths, I want them gone. If there was one good thing that the moths have done for me, it's that they've genuinely helped me control the tilt. I used to genuinely be unable to do multiple runs in one night of solo flawless dungeons. I could not do it. After one or two wipes, I would genuinely get so angry. Another thing that used to happen is I used to get really comfortable playing solo flawless dungeons. I would get confident and be like, oh, it's not that bad. Get to the next phase, and I would look past the current situation that I'm in. I'd be at a boss and be like, I can't wait to get to the final boss instead of completing the boss. I stopped that. Every time during this dungeon that I got a little bit too overconfident, it would humble me. And I genuinely feel like I've become a better person for that. But with all of those experiences, I did eventually experience victory. Off we go. Now, I don't know why I thought the sword was going to help. Okay, we did it. God, that was a dumb idea. I don't know why I thought that it would be different. Forgot to... Oh my god. I didn't have my nade yet. If I died there. It's a spike. Alright, yeah. Hard. Come on! Let's fucking go, baby! Yeah! Fuck you, Samuma! I didn't get Navigator. Let's go, baby. Oh my goodness. Finally. 7 attempts. I got 2 of them. Hey, wait, that's actually a pretty good roll. Redirection is really good. You guys were here. Oh my goodness. Fuzzy, Primitive, Not Shocked. The homies. Appreciate you guys being here, man. You were here for a historic moment. Let's grab this motherfucking emblem. Solo flawless emblems. Look at that. Look at that beauty. Let's go. I'm gonna be rocking this forever. Ghost of the Deep has officially taken over the #1 spot for my favorite solo flawless so far. I already liked Ghost of the Deep because I think aesthetically it's my favorite dungeon. I just love the underwater stuff. I think it looks really cool. And I think seeing Asa in the underwater transition period was one of the coolest things in the dungeon. But, of course, the dungeon is really a pain in the butt to run. So I understand why not a lot of people like to run the dungeon. But on top of the aesthetics, I think that the dungeon's difficulty is by far been the highest so far for me. I love more difficult encounters, and this dungeon doesn't exactly scratch the surface of super difficult, but compared to something like Prophecy, it is a much more enjoyable experience if you're looking for difficulty. But the bosses also have more health, and there's more enemies to deal with, and I think that makes it even more difficult, which makes it more rewarding when you finally get it done. I said in a previous video that I thought completing solo flawless dungeons was similar in feeling to defeating a Dark Souls boss, and now that I've done Ghost of the Deep, a more difficult dungeon than the previous ones I had done before, I can confidently say that that feeling is not the same. Defeating a Dark Souls boss feels awesome, but a solo flawless dungeon is so much better. I wouldn't say one is harder than the other, but the feeling overall I think is so much better. But going forward, I obviously have more dungeons that I need to get done, and that includes Warlords Ruin, Vesper's Hosts, and Sundered Doctrine. Next on the chopping block for me is going to be Warlords Ruin. I have done this dungeon almost 40 times, so I am hoping that those runs may come in handy here. If you'd like to see me do my attempts on stream, my Twitch is in the link in the description below, and if you really feel frisky, go check out my TikTok. If you enjoyed today's video, please leave it a like and subscribe. I will be making more videos in the future, other games as well, but mainly Destiny for now because I'm having so much fun playing the game. The next video will hopefully be a Warlords Ruin completion. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out!
As you sail above the clouds,
Still climbing at 10,000 feet.